Nintendo Switch Online, as we know it today, released in September of 2018, but online on the Nintendo Switch has been around since the release of the console. So, what's the difference between the two? Well, the original one had some issues, but it was completely free, and the second one has the exact same issues, but now it costs money.
Okay, it's not that simple, but it also kind of is. The online for the Nintendo Switch was completely free when the Nintendo Switch released, but when September 2018 came around the corner, Nintendo introduced their paid subscription service, Nintendo Switch Online, which was now a requirement to play games online. It wasn't Nintendo just now charging to play online when it was free previously. It did also include a catalog of NES games and the ability to use cloud saves, but for most people, the main reason to buy Nintendo Switch Online was to play the Nintendo Switch, well, online. When Nintendo Switch Online released, a lot of people were not a fan of it, including myself, but it's been 5 years since Nintendo Switch Online was released. With its price remaining as small as it is, and the additional benefits being added over time, surely there shouldn't be any problems with it now. Right? For only $24.99, you get access to Nintendo Switch Online for a full year. Let's see what it includes. First off, the ability to play games online. Secondly, an access to a catalog of NES games. When Nintendo Switch Online released, it was only NES games, and not a ton of them. But since release, they've added the Super Nintendo and Game Boy games, and over time, added more games to all three of them. The NES, SNES, and Game Boy games all play fine. You can even play them online. Nothing horrible about this, except the amount of games. Many classic games were missing for a long period of time, and were only slowly added over the years. People also weren't a fan of having to use subscription service to play these classic games, as this is the only way to play classic games on Nintendo Switch, as it lacks virtual console games on the eShop. Cloud saves is the third feature, and a very handy one. It's nice to have a way to back up save data online, so if anything happens, you can always recover the save file. It's really simple. Take your game, put it in, hit the start button, go down the save data cloud. It doesn't work. So some games just can't be backed up. There are games that do make sense, ones that are online only and just save to the games online. Those make sense, but Splatoon 2? Really? Apparently this is done so people don't revert to an older save when they're trying to receive an item at chance they didn't want, and want to try again at getting what they wanted. If this was indeed the issue, I'm assuming that it's been fixed for Splatoon 3, since that game supports cloud saves, but I'm not really sure. Pokemon games. These save files can be very important to keep safe, so having cloud save, oh come on! So for Pokemon games, cloud saves aren't supported, so people don't duplicate Pokemon. It makes sense why they don't want people to duplicate Pokemon, but at the same time, it really sucks for those that just want to back up a save file. Plenty of games don't support cloud saves. Even games that don't have any online components can't be backed up. However, most Nintendo Switch games do support cloud saves. Nintendo Switch phone app is the fourth benefit of online, and this thing just kind of exists. I've never really had a need for it. I'm sure people could get some use out of it, but it seems like something that should just be free to use and not something you have to pay for. I guess it can be used for voice chat. Yeah, Nintendo Switch games don't support voice chat. Instead, you have to use your phone to use voice chat while in the same game. Special offers is the fifth and final benefit. This is just a bunch of smaller stuff, like some exclusive items in some games, some exclusive games, some exclusive game trials allowing you to play paid games free for a little while, and the ability to buy profile icons. Yeah, the ability to buy icons. You use My Nintendo coins to buy them, but you have to have an active Nintendo Switch Online membership to even be allowed to buy them. The coins are earnable without a Nintendo Switch Online membership, but can't be used for icons until you have a Nintendo Switch Online membership. At least once you buy an icon, you can still use it without the membership, but it's still weird that you need to have a membership to buy them in the first place. Oh, and you can also buy controllers that are just like the original Nintendo console controllers. Yeah, you can't buy these unless you have Nintendo Switch Online. Same with the Nintendo Switch game vouchers. You need Nintendo Switch Online to be able to buy them and redeem them. Well, if you really enjoy Nintendo Switch Online, they ended up making a second tier of the subscription, later called the Expansion Pass. It would add a catalog of N64, GBA, and Sega Genesis games, alongside free DLC in select games. For only $63.99 a year? That's more than double the price of the normal Nintendo Switch Online. I'd assume for just extra benefits, it would only be a smaller price increase, but no, it's more than double of the original. Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass would include a catalog of N64, GBA, and Sega Genesis games. The games themselves play fine, but the selection is very lacking, and games are added very slowly to all three of them. With the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass, you also get access to free DLC on select games, like the Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and the Octo expansion for Splatoon 2. The benefits the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass gives are nice, but unlike the original Nintendo Switch Online, I really do not think it's worth buying the expansion pass unless you really want access to classic N64, GBA, and Sega Genesis games on Nintendo Switch, or want access to some paid DLC without having to own it. For me, I'd just buy the DLC so I could have access to it whenever, and wouldn't have to rely on a subscription service to give me access to the DLC. For only $24.99 a year, Nintendo Switch Online isn't awful. However, the main issue with Nintendo Switch Online comes from, well, the online. When it was free, it had connection issues from time to time. However, it was free. But now it's a requirement to pay to play online, and it performs the exact same way. I wouldn't mind paying for online if it was improved, but it isn't. And that's the main issue with Nintendo Switch Online.
Is Nintendo Switch Online worth it? I would say so. For only $24.99 a year, it's honestly not that much. Now, it does suck that you need to pay for something that was free previously, that being the ability to play games online, but at least they kept the price pretty low. The expansion pass, however, I'm not much of a fan of. The benefits are nice, don't get me wrong, but $63.99 a year really pushes me away. However, the regular one and the expansion pass can start family plans, which you can add multiple users into one plan and then split the cost with them. And if you do that with the expansion pass, I would highly recommend it if you can get enough people in to bring the percentage of the cost really, really low.